Chapter 3: Encountering the Undead. The sun was setting and the murkiness of the night was quickly drawing nearer. However, George and his family couldn't stand to stop. They had been driving for quite a long time, exploring the destruction of the world they once knew, and were beginning to run short on fuel. The only thought at the forefront was getting to Virginia, where their friends and family were hanging on to them. It was then that they began experiencing more zombie-like creatures. George was in the driver's seat, his eyes dashing between the street ahead and the rearview mirror, when he saw them. A gathering, or if nothing else, what used to be people, were in a large group down the road, their eyes fixed on the vehicle. They were covered in filth, their clothes torn and tattered, and their skin was pale and lifeless. George's heart raced as he slammed on the brakes, bringing the vehicle to a dramatic halt. He had never seen anything like this, and he was filled with a mix of fear and confusion. He went to his grandparents, who were in the back seat, and murmured, "We need to leave, now!" The group immediately leaped out of the vehicle, got their weapons and supplies, and headed towards a nearby corner store. George was on guard, his eyes examining the region for any signs of the creatures or people. He realized there was a weapons store across the road and made a split-second decision. He realizes that they needed to acquire more weapons, assuming there would be more dangers to Virginia, and he won't allow anything to stop him. He ran towards the firearms store, weapons close by, with his grandparents not far behind. The entryway was locked, but it was no issue for George. He immediately kicked it in, and they were met with an immense range of weapons and ammo. They filled their packs with however much they could carry and made a beeline for the vehicle. As they advanced back to the vehicle, they were encircled by the creatures. George and his grandparents retaliated with all that they had, shooting and hacking their way through the creatures. They finally returned to the vehicle, their hearts racing and their adrenaline pumping, and drove away. Until the end of the journey, they experienced increasingly more of the undead, each experience turning out to be more nerve-wracking than the last. Be that as it may, George and his family were determined to make it to Virginia, no matter what. They've come this far, and they're not going back.